Downstate in Sanford earlier this year, community members lost their homes and belongings to a flood caused by a dam break. It prompted Local 3's Melissa Venix to look into the condition of dams in the Upper Peninsula.
Dams in the Upper Peninsula are mostly in satisfactory or fair condition, and all of the 6 dams with a high downstream hazard are in satisfactory condition. Dan Devon, a dam safety engineer for the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy, says the hazard ratings take several factors into consideration.
Is there, first of all, going to be loss of life or the potential for loss of life? If the answer is yes to that, it immediately becomes a high hazard dam.
Last week, Devon was in the Upper Peninsula looking at dams in several areas. He says he visited at least a dozen different dams, some with private owners and some owned by the DNR.
I started off down in Manistee, just taking a look at the Manistee Dam. That is another one of the high hazard dams. It actually is kind of one of our problematic dams, mostly in the sense that it technically doesn't have an owner at the moment. The owner actually had filed bankruptcy. And so we're working through that process right now legally, as well as pursuing our options for addressing issues.
Currently, Eagle, the DNR, Fish and Wildlife Services, and the Army Corps of Engineers are all working to maintain the dam. Another dam Devon visited was the Red Ridge Dam. The dam will be getting some repairs hopefully this fall, according to Stanley Vitton, an engineering professor at MTU that has been working with others in the community to save the historic site.
One major steel beam got severed. The other problem is, I mentioned these holes that they've cut into the steel dam. The water comes through that during flood time, and below it is concrete, and it's eroded the concrete quite badly.
The Calumet Dam will also be getting repairs in the future. Tim Kasparek, the township supervisor for Calumet, says they are waiting for funding before they can begin work on the dam. They have a project plan set for the repairs and an estimated cost of $125,000. The Eagle website has a map of all the dams Eagle oversees. Visitors to the site can click on the dams and learn about their hazard and condition ratings. It also lists the most recent inspection, but does not list when the next one is due. Local 3 News, Melissa Venix.